Well, hey guys, and welcome to another episode of DIY on our Birnie Family YouTube channel. And as you can see, we're back on this kitchen job. And guys, this is quite a lot of work, this one. You know, it's not a sort of 5-minute job. But Christmas is coming fairly soon now, guys, so you know, I really want to have it done by then. You know, obviously because this year's been a little different, we won't have the same sort of visitors or anything like that. But the house is obviously still very busy with the kids being here and childminding kids and all sorts of stuff, you know. So guys, I just hope you're really enjoying this kitchen video. Again guys, it's never really professional advice as such, you know, it's just, this is the way I do things, and if you get hints and tips, and that's just great, you know. But hopefully guys, you'll find it really helpful. And of course the other thing always is, and I don't mean to do anything dangerous as it were if you're not so up to it, is to try some DIY for yourself. You know, you just sort of self-teach yourself, and it's very enjoyable, very satisfying, you know, when you get the jobs done right and stuff like that. And you can learn so much. So I just hope you enjoy these videos. So again guys, pretty much where we sort of left off in the last video really. I haven't done much since then. You know, in sort of bits and pieces. I'd rather just sort of get them all on camera. But today is pretty much worktop day, and obviously we're going to cut these worktops to go in these areas here, and at the same time guys, we'll have to screw all these carcasses together to make it nice and strong, screw them to the floor to give them that final sort of resting place. But with the worktops guys, it's not just the worktops, obviously it's running electrical wires as well, because this side of the room has never had a power socket, so we're going to pop one in there, and more than likely guys, we'll put in some lights underneath here as well to give this place a lot more light. And this, you guys, is the worktop style we've chosen. Check it out, eh? Bit grey, you know, just to suit the kitchen, bit of creamy colour, wood effect. So you can imagine, guys, it'll go really well with the style of the kitchen that we've got. See if we can get it both in the same place. So you can see the difference this is going to make, guys. I mean, really, you know, really make a difference. So listen, let's just get started with this first. I really want to get this this cut. And as you can see, guys, we are almost into the corridor. This is a 3-metre length, so it's obviously quite long. And all we need off this is 2 metres. So basically the piece we're going to be keeping is this side, and this side here is going to be the scrap piece. There's nowhere for it, basically just for that spare 1 metre. However, we do have another 2 3-metre lengths there, so we've got plenty to go on. But the reason why I'm going to cut this here, guys, is because I've got a lot of margin for error doing these, you know, doing these worktops, because we're going to be putting on wood cladding so all the way around, you know. So I don't have to be as careful as normal, but that doesn't mean that, you know, you don't try to do your best, you know. So we're going to cut this. Now, I don't think I've ever cut a worktop in my life. It's just a laminate one, so it's not really, you know, hugely tough to cut through. But what you find when you are actually cutting through it is that you can splinter all the wee bits across there, especially when you're using a jigsaw. So if we move over to here, we have plenty to choose from. And as you can see, guys, like some of these bigger ones, they're sort of more for your rougher jobs. And obviously as you go down, you get to much finer ones, you know. So what I'm going to do, guys, because again, I said I haven't really done this before except over there. But this could react differently to the old worktop. So I'm going to do a couple of practices along here with these and see how we get on. The kids aren't far off coming back from school, you guys, so we might get rudely interrupted. What I'm going to use, guys, is just an old blade that I use. Obviously you can see that one's quite rough, and I just want to see the reaction that this is going to have. Let's have a wee look, just a quick cut. Doesn't have to be straight really at the minute. We're just having a wee look. So let me just pick these up. Here we go. Yeah, so you see, guys, as I've been cutting through there, that side seems to be fine, but you'll see just that little nicks that go along there. Now, you know, it's not such a big deal really. Like I keep saying, you know, by the time we get across this wall, all this rubbish is off and the wood cladding's on, it'll actually come out to about here. So that's what we can do. That's no excuse, guys, you know. But that was a rough one, that wasn't bad. When I tested it over on that one there, it did splinter a lot going along. Maybe it's just because it's a bit of a different surface. So let's try, let's see, we'll try a bit of a finer one now. We'll use that one there. Get rid of that one. And we'll have a go with this one. Okay. Usually these things just pop straight in, guys, like that. Right, let's see how the fine one does. It's worse. Look at that. It's worse. That is much better. It's quite an easy cut as well. So guys, we can now hit this one. Now this is measured at 1.9, and like I said, that's the part we're keeping, guys. That part there. And this part, even if a rough or something happens as we go along, nobody's going to be able to see it. And this piece now is basically spare. So let's hit this one. So let's switch back to this one. I was actually considering doing this with a handsaw. Excuse me. Because there are still jobs with a handsaw, it's just king, you know. But no, we're okay with this job. So hopefully, guys, you'll see it's going to look pretty good. That'll stay the same colour, obviously. We'll be painting the doors and we'll be sanding and then varnishing this floor. So you can imagine it'll be a deeper, much, much deeper piece of wood. And obviously later on, guys, when we're doing the plinth all the way around, it's going to be like an antique colour green, a light green, all the way along the bottom of there. So that should look really good. So as you can see, guys, we've kept the really, really good end here. And you will notice that we seem to have quite a bit of a gap, as you can see. And that's because I turned this one around this way because of the table that comes out like that. But this bit here we're going to do as a breakfast bar. So what I've got is basically wood that's the same thickness as that. And what we're going to do is put on pieces of wood like that across. It's out as far as we can really come. I might even round this edge just to see, I don't know, and take it from there. Now, without destroying that new worktop in the process, guys, we've still got another two to cut, and obviously the big long one is along here. Not totally simple, because we need to cut the hole for the hob as well. That's fine, we'll do that. And obviously, guys, I'm going to try and get it right back against the wall. We still have wires to run, like I said, for over there for another power socket. We've got wires run up there anyway for the lights. So, goodness, we might as well just take on that one, eh? So as you can see, guys, back over here, we've now got access again to the tops, which is awesome. Because as you can see, look, we're still not close together. This corner unit's fine, because it's all part of one, but it's this one here that really needs to be screwed up. So just the way that it is, I think we'll just put a screw in there and a screw in there, and when we screw the bottom, that should be dandy. Oh guys, what have I stop and I think? I'm always like this, I get so far along the plan, I think, right, hold on a second, let's see what we're doing. Now obviously that will go a little bit further. Once we get those tiles off, that'll go a little bit further, but still quite a big overhang there. So I think when we get the final sort of position, we'll maybe take off like 100mm or 80mm off that end just to bring it along. But on this side here, guys, I'm kind of needing a lip, and it helps me in that corner over there to fill that corner properly to make it look really nice. And obviously this will all be tongue and groove, and there'll be a plinth going along the bottom and round to there. That'll be really nice. But I'm going to try and make this thing as big as I can, because it's a breakfast bar, and the more space the better in the kitchen, and we have got that scope to go that little bit further. So guys, I think what we're going to do is when we add on to this, as you can see, it's perfect. When we add on to this, I could paint these like grey, just to match them with this, like a nice grey, and maybe take it along here as well to make an end piece on it. But as you can see, guys, that would be a pretty wide, almost a metre wide, maybe 900 wide breakfast bar for the kids. Slight problem, you guys, slight problem. Never really thought about it, but the old ones are under 40mm. The old worktops there, these are 40mm, and I can't get it under that lip. However, I really need to smash this whole bit out anyway, for doing the electrics and stuff like that. So it's not a big deal, but it means I'm going to have to cut that part out. What I think I'll do is put a frame in there, guys, and then we can frame it out for these electrical sockets. I mean, 3 is probably enough there. I would have thought so. It's got three plug sockets, because obviously we're putting in more, aren't we? So. Right, so we're going to do this bit by bit. I mean, you would go in there with a reciprocating saw or jigsaw or whatever you want to do, but I don't actually know where the wires are in the back of here, guys, so we're going to do it bit by bit. Love this bit. Oh yes. So we're just going to do it bit by bit, guys, and obviously so we don't cause too much of a stew inside the house, you know, as well. Try and keep all the debris just here. Yeah, and I don't want to take the plasterboard, you know, up there down with it, so I think we'll give it a bit of a score as well. This is what we get along here. Just so we hopefully snap it off in line. Getting there. That's us getting about the power sockets now, look. This is the bit I wanted to be really careful about. Yeah, so I managed to keep the debris to a minimum, guys. Look, just need to grab that top bit. But yeah, I don't remember doing this part of the kitchen with my father years and years and years ago. I think they were probably in place already. But as you can see, that's where all the sort of power's coming up into. You see that one heading off towards the oven and whatnot. So I think, guys, I'm going to have to remove this bottom one. As you can see over here, look. Might have to remove this bottom one here. Have to remove that bottom one there, so that we can get in about. A lot of dust and debris today, you guys. Look at that. Oh my goodness. However, there we go. Yeah. And you know something, guys? Again, just a trademark change of mind. You know, this ordinarily is sliding underneath that part there, and obviously, you know, there's too narrow a gap. So what I think we'll do is we'll cut the countertop back and slip it in there nice and tight. And that would be great. Because up above, guys, I'll have to frame it in a different way. Probably because the slats are going to be going that way. So I'll pop in some bits there actually, and we'll do tongue and groove in there as well. You know, that'll be a really good back into that. Right, so guys, time to make a start on this tiles now, because obviously, you know, when we did this worktop bit here, we found out in the background that it's not going to fit. Well, it's just slight. I mean, you're just talking slightly. There's just not much in it at all as to how different the sizes are. But I think, guys, we'll just take off all this as we're going along actually. Yeah, it's gonna take a bit of the wall away with it, guys. You know, this plaster, it's just noise. But we're putting the wood like this right on there, plus the wood cladding, so it'll all be in behind. So I'm not, you know, nothing to worry about. Try and take them off as gentle as we can. Just with this old chisel. Right, so guys, that is the majority of the tiles off now, and obviously that's exposing the back of the worktop for us. And I've just kind of loosened it off over there and over here, so this thing's just about ready to come out really. Of course, you know, there's a bigger hole in this part here, because it used to be like a big double hob. Now I've just got a smaller one part hob, so it's just basically the outline of that we need to do. And off she comes. Look at that, all nice and exposed. And of course now, guys, you know, I've got that real opportunity to screw this all together now. But of course, I've got to get rid of this thing, which is almost 3 meters. So what I'm going to do with it, guys, is basically just quickly take the jigsaw with a big rough blade and just cut this thing to pieces. It'll be a lot easier to get rid of then. So there we go, that's a bit all exposed now, guys. Probably have to put a cover over this just for the time being. Obviously there's lots and lots of stuff in these that I don't want to take out. But here's the time, guys, now where we can start actually, you know, nipping this together. As you can see, look. And that's just me pulling it with two fingers, you know. And we'll just bring them all into line. Oops, see, even that's a little bit out of line, see? And then same again, look. It's a little bit out of line, I'll need to push that back in, or this needs to come out, but that's okay. Right, guys, so we've whipped off, this is the old piece, of course, guys, and you'll see that there's a notch cut out there, which is for over there, and obviously we had cabinets right up to the wall. Now there's not, so I've had to put a batten in place over there, but that's fine. So I'm just going to cut this baby out exact. I was just getting sharp to double check everything before I do something silly. Yeah, so we seem to be fitting okay, guys. We're not exactly touching the back yet, and I think we just need a little sliver off a there just to let this come back the way. And then that should bring it all in. But what the really sort of big job here, guys, is cutting out this hob top. Now this is going to be a bit of a wee bit of a challenge, just the way things are. But basically, guys, we're cutting a square out of this, and I haven't, with the edges, you've got quite a lot of margin for error because of what we're building. But with this, basically, we've got to be pretty much spot on, or it just won't work. Yeah, it's got the centre line pretty much marked there now, guys. And of course, at the back, we're going to have like about an inch coming out onto here, and then we'll have the tongue and groove as well. So we're really wanting it sort of closer to the front as we can. And obviously, I don't want to scratch this thing to bits, so that's why we've got it on tea towels at the minute. So I just want to sort of place it to make sure. I mean, look at that. Oh, we've actually got quite a lot, haven't we? Really, when you think about it. It's got plenty of room at the back there, plenty. About there, eh? About there. We'll maybe take it to 2 inches, guys, It's going to be round about there anyway, so if we just take it to 2 inches all the way along, that's a nice round number to get us across. And of course the idea here is, guys, that we really need this to be perfectly straight, absolutely perfect. And of course the other thing we've really got to think about, guys, is the screws, so really we're measuring from screw point to screw point. Really, if this is brand new, you'd get a template with it. You just will put it in, and more than likely you'd take off the actual top and fit it that way. We don't have it, so I'm just going to go for cutting it. So pretty much we're talking 55.5 that way, or 55.5 that way, and 49 that way, and that's just giving us enough to get the screws in. And of course, once it's on, we can adjust it around and then clamp it with this onto the worktop itself. It shouldn't be too big a deal. We're also going to have to run a different power setup for this. There's not enough amps coming through there to make this work really well, so we'll probably have to link it up to a different wire. We'll do that after. Wee bit more light in this situation now, guys, but I've just drilled some pilot holes, as you can see, and I'm just going to go all the way around it. It's perfect here, perfect over there, so hopefully we've just made it exactly the right size to take that out and drop it in. And we've emptied this top drawer, because what we'll do is just let the sawdust fall through into there and we'll take it from there. But we will have to rewire this for like a 30 amp or something, so woohoo! Perfect. Pretty easy really, guys, but it takes quite a while with the jigsaw when you're going round it, and you just have to really concentrate to get it right. But I've also made the modifications to either side as well to make sure this fits in perfectly. And now we've just got a 40mm overhang there, 40mm overhang there, which means it is spot on. So of course now, guys, this is probably its final resting position. So what we'll probably do is, the brackets that are underneath there is turn them, screw it up, and then what we'll do is we'll have to connect the worktop to the cupboards themselves. Now I've already put, screws all the way along to pull them together, and then we'll do the same at the bottom, and that should be it. Really tight, really bonny.